Hey there, Kevin here at RisingHighAcademy.com. Welcome. We got a very special guest today, Rabia Dincer, Publishing Manager at YSO Corp.
Hi,
Popular.
Kevin.
Hello there, how you doing?
All good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm very well today. Thrilled you could come on and join us today. Really excited for the presentation. And Rabia's going to be talking about all the ideation process right through to publishing hit games at YSO Corp. So, founded in 2018, developing all their own games based in France. Where else? Like, quite frankly, for hyper casual. But yeah, I'll let Rabia do all the talking on this one. I'll pass you over to her. But thanks, Rabia, for doing this for us, and really excited to see your presentation today.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I'm really happy for participating in the RisingHigh Academy because we have been working already with some of your members,
Oh, cool.
and I'm really happy to be contributing to this informative platform. I hope some of our developers, publishers, and most of the time the studios can learn something from us, and I hope I can help somehow.
That's amazing. I'm sure you can. And yeah, it's all about taking in all the information and just trying to process it and trying to learn from the experts in the industry like yourself. So, if you want to crack on with the presentation, I'd love to see that.
All right. So what we are doing recently is focusing on the publishing part. So most of the people know YSO Corp with Stretch Guy, Ninja Hands, and games like this. But we are doing lots of developing for other publishers as well as doing the publishing for the studios. So today I will focus mostly on the publishing process where the creation of the game starts and how it goes, both for our own developing projects, but at the same time, what we expect from the studios. Because in general, studios develop a game, but the game itself is good, but it still requires lots of work. So I hope this can clear up this process, even though it is only for 2 weeks, 3 weeks at least on our side. It still requires lots of detailed work. So I hope this can clear up some of the questions that they might have.
Fantastic. Okay, so shall I hand over to you and you can launch your presentation then? And yeah, I'm going to be watching and learning myself, so I can't wait.
Thank you. All right then. So I will give a quick overview right here. So first, I will start with our own rules to make a hit game. So this is the checklist that we focus on. And then I will talk about how we have created about the game Ninja Hands with the idea creation and starting the project, as well as the launching it in less than 2 weeks. And at the end, I will make a quick recap about the lessons and conclusions that we have learned. So for the little guide that we make, number one we focus on is always mechanics and the game concept that is innovative. So later on, I will explain all of these parts on Ninja Hand, so it will be way more explanatory. And number two is the game must be attractive to the general public. So anyone who sees the game should like it or have an idea about what it is. So, as you know, League of Legends is quite famous and loved by many people, but it has an audience that is quite limited. But when it comes to games like Mario, a child and a person like an adult, anyone in your family can play and like this game. So in the hyper casual world, we are focusing on mostly this type of attractive to general public games. And number two is the game should be extremely understandable. Why we always say this, I think most of the studios and developers, they hear this a lot. It is because we are doing the CPI tests, which are calculating the costs of the game, so the marketing costs. So imagine that we are showing these game videos to very busy people in not very good situations. So most people skip the videos in 5 seconds. We don't have the time to explain what this game is about in 5 seconds. So for example, in this video that you can see, the environment is quite clear, execution is quite well, but we have no idea what the goal of the game is, where this man needs to go, or if we are hitting him, or what is happening. We have no idea. So it is not a good CPI video. But in the second example, you can see that the goal is to break the car, and you are getting rewarded as you continue. So it is easy to understand. Only by looking at some images of this second part, you can have an idea. So that is what we are focusing on. And number 4 is having interactions with the objects. So the image that you are seeing is from Stretch Guide. As you can see, we have different objects like the bomb, and the user feels like they are interacting with different objects and at the same time making some choices about the direction of the bomb. So it is not just the direct way, it gives them the idea that they are making some choices and using some strategy. And number 6 is they should feel strong. So there are so many ways that we can give this feeling. So it can be visual effects or giving new boosters, new powers, new points, etc. So in the first one, it is basically different colors. And in the second one, you can see that you are getting more powerful. So since they are our users, we assume that they play in a very busy times. So in this limited amount of time, we want them to feel strong. We want them to enjoy the game and not feel frustrated. So that is why it is very important. So let's focus on how we have applied all this in the Ninja Hands. So in the first step, the creation of the idea. So the idea is inspired by Naruto. I think you know it. And so a ninja that is being attacked by the enemies and just by the using hand signs. So number 1, we think that it is innovative because there was no game that has used this mechanics, like the hand signs inside the game. Plus, it is inspired by Naruto, so that means it is attractive to the general public. Anyone who sees Ninja Hands, if they have watched Naruto, they know that it is from there and they are emotionally attached already if they like it. But it is still understandable because a ninja, it is known by everyone. So even if you haven't watched Naruto, you can have an idea. But still, we will check how to make it even more understandable, and all these other choices, since the game is not ready, we will see. So we have some choices about this controls, and we chose the second one because you will see that runner choice is a classical one, but in the Naruto one, we want to give a different feeling, something more innovative and easier to understand. So here in this FPS and button choices, you can see that you can choose different versions, and you get, just by the hands, you get that this is from the Naruto. So how do we give more of the choices? So I think you have already seen some of the games where you choose with the buttons different versions, but here we give different combinations. So each time, even though they choose different combinations, the chances of winning is high, but still they get different surprises like fireball and lightnings, etc. So how can we make it have some feeling strong? So as you can see with the visual effects, the lightning is not just killing the enemies, you can see all these effects that are helping them feeling even more stronger. And we want them to feel like they are creating more strategies, more plans inside the game, and having more interactions. So that is why we have added this bombs and TNTs, etc. So you can still continue the way you normally play, but as you can see, this type of interactions, they make the game way more fun and way more strategic in general. So the idea creation was complete, but how do we start the project? So in the first test, these are the results that we have got. As you can see in the dates that it is in the 15th of that month, and the CPI was already 25 cents. So now I will show you some results, but the CPI is not enough to know if the game is really good or not. So we check all the other playtime and retention. And for that, we don't do around, like, let's say 30, 40 levels, because before knowing that the game idea is working, we shouldn't make so much investment of time and effort, because it is a waste of our time. So that's why we have started only with 12 levels, and then random levels are shown, but this will give us already an idea, and it is tested with ads, so we know the monetization part as well. And the playtime was around 5 minutes, which is a good playtime for a game with 12 levels and ads. So the day 1 retention was 43, and day 7 was 9. So at this point, the results are quite good, but on the YSO part, you will see that I will show you some other results. On the levels, you can see that in the level 12, even though it is the end of the game, you can still see like 54% of the users are still there. So that means making new levels will increase it. That's why we take this data as a positive sign, and we have started to do some tests. But before going on the test results, I want to show you some of the information that we need to know. The data that we do is not on the CPI or playtime retention. We do it on the monetization, and we do A/B testings. So normally in A/B testings, you test one version to the other one. But here on our platform, you can do lots of versions in one build. So that means you are saving lots of time. Everything is way much quicker, and all of them are based on the monetization, as I've said. So let's start how it started. In the version 1, as I've shown you, we have seen, and version 2, we have added 3 A/B testings. So here you can see that just by 3 A/B testings, the monetization has improved more than 40%. So it is a huge difference. So in the version 3, we have validated all of these A/B testings that came up positive. And then we have added 2 new A/B testings as well. And that was already enough. So we have launched the game only in 6 days. And still, even when the game is going to the launching period, we still have the chance to do all these A/B testings and all the improvements. So here you can see in the version 4, the tests we have done, they made very tiny little positive change, but still we have added all these changes too. And just by these tests, in 2 weeks, we were on top 10 in the US. So it's a success story on our side, but I am showing this. just so the studios ask us like how long it takes for a game to be launched. It really depends on the studio and how fast these A/B testings are made. And on our side, what happens is that the tools are quite fast. So with the A/B testing, no limit of the A/B testings, and everything is at the same time. So it is tested on retention, playtime, monetization, and all of this data is real-time data. So you don't wait for the test results for a few days again and again. It is just super quick. And automatization is our other development part. So everything is automatized, everything like monetization, user acquisition, and creatives. So everything is super fast. You don't lose any time. So that allows you to increase everything as quick as possible. But we have to thank our team as well, because for the A/B testings to be done that fast, everyone worked, because each game has a deadline, it has a lifetime, and yes, there are some exceptions. For example, this week we have launched a game, Adventure Miner. Maybe you have seen it. That game has been worked on by other publishers for 3-4 months, and it was killed. But still, in 1 week we could launch it. But in general, when the game is going on well, the results are going well, we try to launch it as fast as possible. So that means working at nights, weekends, and just focusing on the most important improvements, such as the level design, the controls, because it affects the game feeling hugely. But extra characters, having a shop, or giving extra gifts at the end of the level, these are more like a detail that we can focus later on. So how do we launch it? In less than 2 weeks. So as I have said, we are also developing tools for other companies, other publishers. So that means we can mix the developing tools with the developing games. So everything is at the same place and everything can be as quick as possible. So that leads to the success. So we have started this believing that last year in just 8 months, we were able to have 7 profitable games only with 5 people. So that's why this year we are focusing on helping, like giving these tools, this knowledge, let's say, to the other studios. And you will see that I think I've showed you, Kevin, the dashboard and everything is transparent. So the studios get the chance to use all the same developing tools. So it is possible for anyone. So on our side, the conclusions that we have learned is making lots of A/B testings instead of one by one and losing 3-4 days per each test. It is not possible for us. And these A/B testings, they focus on monetization, because a game that has, let's say, 8 minutes playtime and 12 minutes playtime, they might have the same monetization results if the changes are made differently. So that is why it is way better to focus on the monetization and deciding and testing quickly, so that you don't lose that little time that you might have, focusing on the main improvements. And yeah, that's all on our side. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
That's
Thank you.
fantastic. So thanks for that, Rabia. They're really interesting. And yeah, you just touched on the fact that you showed me the dashboard that you can't show on here, sadly. But yeah, it's really, really comprehensive and really detailed. And obviously, you said that all your studios that you work with get access to that, and it goes so granular. It's really
Yeah.
pretty fantastic. I mean, you can see where people are dropping off on the levels and all sorts of interesting and wonderful stats that I think many of us would never even consider. So, when we're thinking about looking to partner up with someone, this sort of information that is not widely shared from a lot of the other publishers, the transparency you guys are sharing is just it's just setting you apart right now for me. Really interesting to hear all the stuff about your new game with the choices. It's something we picked up on inside the academy. There's a real sort of trending sort of mechanic right now, but I love the fact that you're merging, you're sort of like putting a sequence on it to create new effects, and I think that's really a really smart way to add that sort of strategy in a little bit. But yeah, that's really
Thank you
cool.
so
So,
much.
phenomenal success with just the five of you in just 7 or 8 months or whatever it is with your hit games. I saw you just launched a new Cube game that I'm going to be checking out after this game. After this, after we stop talking here, kind of Pokemon Go style from the screenshots. But yeah, I think overall that was superb, and thank you so much for sharing. Is there anything you'd like to add onto that, or are you all done talking? Um,
Well, I would like to say, like, for any studios that want to know, like, how the dashboard works and everything, I would be happy to show it. And thank you so much for this opportunity, because it is a huge chance for us to meet the real professionals in this market. So thank you so much for your help.
no, you're welcome, and there's no thank you needed. Companies like you up and coming, it's so exciting, and just goes to show that it's such a great space to be in, and the opportunity is there. If someone wants to get in touch with you guys, and you especially, I saw you had your email and stuff, and we'll put that below the video. Is
Yeah.
the email the best route to go to?
Well, they can contact me by email, by Discord, by LinkedIn, or any way they can contact me. We create Slack and Skype channels as well. So it is really whatever is most easier for them to connect with me. It just like somehow send me an email or anything, and we will take it from there.
Perfect. And just one more thing, I just thought of it then. How would someone submit a game to you? What's the best sort of way to pitch you? So I'm typing out my email to Rabia now. What do I do? Do I put a video in, or do we just have a conversation first? How does that sort of work?
So what happens is that they can always register to our platform. So if they can just go to YSO Corp.com, they can see the platform and they can just submit a game. But what we mostly prefer is that to give some feedback, because we are testing so many games every day, is that I think it is a valuable platform of all these test results that with similar games. So when we receive a game, we prefer to give some feedback and maybe just tiny little tweaks like changing some colors, etc., or speed, or starting the video from somewhere else. It can improve the CPI highly. So they can just submit their game there and send us an email, because when they are submitting the game, they will receive all of our emails, all of our contact details there as well. So they can just contact us for if they want any feedback. Some studios, they have already tested those games and they know which videos work best and what the results might be. So they don't really want feedback, they just want this detailed information. So that is also fine with us. But I personally think knowing all these games and seeing all the test results, giving some feedback would always be beneficial. So we prefer that they submit the game and then contact us, and then we start the campaign with the best videos and give the best chance.
Yeah, I think that's great because a lot of the time, if you test it with someone else, another publisher, and you just get that CPI number and it's like no, and it's just like, well, what do I do? Why didn't it work? Can someone throw me a bone and help me out? Or give me half an idea of what I can do to change it? And I think that's where it's really exciting to hear you saying you want to give feedback to help grow the studios, because essentially the better games that the studios produce, the better it is for everyone, and the more chance that hit, appears out of nowhere. So really interesting to hear that your feedback is forthcoming, which is really great. So if you're building any games out there and you're not happy with getting any feedback from the publishers you're with, YSO can help you out there. So highly recommend you drop in Fabia a link, a message, sorry, and we'll put all the links down below or wherever it is so that you're watching this, and you can reach out and maybe start a great new partnership. All right, Fabia, thank you so much. It's been fantastic. And I wish we could have showed a bit of that dashboard, but you'll just have to get in contact with them to see how awesome it is.
Don't worry, I will show it to everyone one by one.
Awesome. All right, so with that, that's going to go and wrap it up. Thank you once again. We will be in touch, and hopefully we can do another one of these moving forward. And please show your support by giving this a like and all the rest of it. But without further ado, Rabia, thank you again, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.